Damn it, Sony. What's going on, y'all? Your Darius here, back again for another video. And this time I'm here with my review for Madame Web. Alright, Madame Web. Yeah, the newest Sony Spider-Man universe film, spin-off solo film where they take a fairly obscure Spider-Man mythos character and give them their own movie. They did it with Morbius. They did it with Venom, who is a little less obscure, obviously. And they're doing it again with Craven, right? And oh god, this movie, man. All right. No spoilers, by the way. No spoilers here. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts on this film. Where do I even begin? First off, if you're new here, hi, how you doing, man? Consider hitting that subscribe button, man, alright? It helps me out on my journey to 400 subscribers. I'm almost there. Can't get there without you. Also, like the video, man, helps out the algorithm to push my content so more people can see it. But yeah, first order of business is the film itself, right? What is it about? It's about this woman, played by Dakota Johnson, named Cassandra Webb. She can see the future. I can see the future! Oh, if you've seen Dragon Ball, Z Bridge, you know about that. Yeah, she can see the future, and she can see that these three girls, right, these three teenage girls, are being hunted down by this, not Spider-Man, but he is a Spider-Man, right? Who's hunting them down because in the future they do something bad to him. They try to kill him in the future, and he's trying to kill them first. Basically, that's the plot of the movie. Cassandra Webb's trying to use her precog clairvoyant powers to save their lives. It's very Final Destination-y, and that is the core of the movie. It is a Final Destination movie. It's a Final Destination meets slasher film. It's like the main guy, Ezekiel Sims, right? It's a comic book character. All these characters in it, like the main characters, are from the comics. Ezekiel Sims, the bad guy, the villain. It's very much like a slasher horror movie villain, right? It's kind of like Jason, kind of like Michael Myers. Just I'm keeping that in. Yeah, he's kind of like your Michael Myers, your Jason Voorhees, just an unstoppable force trying to kill somebody, right? So this movie really felt like someone created a script for a Final Destination meets Halloween, Friday the 13th type of film, right? Pitched it to Sony. Then Sony went, you know what? Considering the fact that we need to fill our quota of Spider-Man adjacent films, right, in order to keep the license, in order to keep, the character rights, let's make it Madame Web. Let's do that instead. Because the plot, the writing, it's at a war with itself, right? Like the Final Destination elements, seeing the future, trying to stop things from happening, taking different approaches, all right? Like if you see, okay, this dude's gonna get in a car accident, well, let me make sure he doesn't get in the car and go that way. Like that type of stuff, it's the most interesting part of the film, right? And then of course, when she's protecting the three girls here, she's like, okay, I can see that he's gonna come after you here, so don't go there, right? That stuff is interesting, and when he shows up and he's just this unstoppable Spider-Man force, that's when they start to mix it in with the Spider-Man adjacent things, right? Like they try to tie it all together into spiders and powers, and I'm just like, that's where it's like, this is two different films. There are two different films at work here, right? Like it really felt like all the comic book spider stuff just got forcibly crammed in, and it's there's no perfect blend. It's not a perfect blend at all. It's very much a messy blend. It very much feels like a corporately created, soulless type of film, dude. That could have been something that was actually good, but it's just not, right? Like it's the acting. Dakota Johnson puts in her best. She doesn't hold back. She's not like coasting. Like she's actually trying to do her job here and act right and make this stuff believable. Same thing with like the three girls, right? I don't know the act. Oh, well, I know a couple of the actors. I know Isabella Merced is one of them. I think she's Anya Corazon. Sydney Sweeney, obviously, I know some Sydney Sweeney, playing Julia Carpenter, and the other one, I have no idea her name. I should know her name, but Anyway, the chemistry between those three, and then bouncing off of each other, bouncing off of Cassandra Webb, all that works. That's fine. The villain, his performance, not he's not a very good villain. He's very one note in how his goal is just, they're gonna kill me in the future, I have to kill them first. That's that's pretty much it. That's all there is to him, man. Like, it's not like Morbius, which I've seen people say Morbius was better. I would say Madam Web is a worse creatively, like, just made film than Morbius, right? Completely. But I find myself a little more entertained in this film than Morbius. Like, Morbius, a lot of times I was just bored out of my mind. But then Matt Smith would show up and be pretty entertaining. But that's just it. The villain in this film, Ezekiel Sims, is not Matt Smith's character from Morbius. What was his name? Milo? That's his fake name, right? Was it? I don't know. That Matt Smith in Morbius brought it. Like, he was like, okay, if I'm gonna be in this film, if I'm gonna be on camera in this kind of poorly made film, kind of just average, sometimes below average comic book film, then I am going to make a meme out of myself. I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna have so much fun. It's not the case here in this movie. All right, Ezekiel Sims is not a fun villain to watch. He's just stoic. He's like, he tries to be imposing, but then at times it's just like the script doesn't allow him to fully be imposing. It's just like, I don't know whether it's the script, the dialogue, or the actor himself is just like, yeah, I kind of just don't buy you, dude. Like, I would rather you just not talk. I'd rather you just be this silent Michael Myers figure. That would be a whole lot better. There are some things also in this movie that, like, again, it's a comic book film. I know that. But they take some liberties with some of, like, the logic used in here. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it exactly, but, like, there's something that happens. There's a thing that is going on throughout the film in which the characters can be tracked and hunted down, right? And it gets to a point where I'm just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's no way you would actually be able to find that person that way. Like, it's just, no, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. Like, I can only suspend my disbelief for so long, man, to only such a degree. There is no post-credit scene, by the way, in this film. I knew that because I saw, like, articles being written about that, saying that there's zero post-credit scenes, no mid-credit scene, no after-credit scene at all. And funny enough, when I walked into the theater, the guy scanned my ticket on my phone. He's just like, oh yeah, by the way, there's nothing at the end. I was just like, it's funny, you have to actually tell people that. But yeah, there's nothing at the end. So don't, as soon as the credits roll, man, get up and get out, man. If you're not already out by the time it looks like it's about to wrap up, then just, to get up and head on out when the credits roll. But yeah, this movie was not good. This movie was like a waste of time. Again, it could have been something good on its own, not related to any of the Spider-Man stuff. Obviously with a tidier script, right? And the editing's all over the place. Like, at times I'm just like, what the heck? Why would you cut right there? What you're trying to piece this stuff together? Whatever, right? Like, if it was on its own, no Marvel nothing, no Spider nothing, I think you'd have yourself a moderately entertaining Final Destination slasher film, right? But that's not what this was. They had to force all the Spider-Man stuff in there, and it just made it that much worse. It did. So yeah, this movie is not that good. It's funny enough, I got called an incel on TikTok for not liking this movie. Apparently, if you just don't like any movie with any female protagonist, you're an incel. And I'm just like, buddy, don't even, like, I just blocked him. I was just like, I'm not here for this. Like, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about, right? Like, anyway, I would give this film, oh god, what would I give this film? A 7 out of 10 would be like, that's like average. That's a 70%. That's a C, right? I would give this a 5 out of 10. What did I give Morbius? I think Morbius got a 5 out of 10, actually. 4.5 out of 10 I give this movie. I give it a 4.5 out of 10. It's just, Sony, it's very clear no one at Sony actually believes in the movies that they're making. These Spider-Man spinoffs, they don't believe in it. They're very soulless. They're very clearly just making them to keep the rights. And good luck with Craven, man. That R rating is not going to save it. It's not. tell you right now, it's not. It boggles my mind how the same company, the same studio behind movies like this and Morbius can make the Spider-Verse films. It's like you should just make like is it if it's a Phil Lord and Christopher Miller thing, make them the Feiges of the entire Spider-Man IP that you have, so that they can be, making sure that movies like this are actually good. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on Madam Web. That's my review, and let me know what you thought in the comments down below if you're gonna see it or not. If you care, I mean, it was quite an empty theater. It was like maybe, I don't know, about 10 people in there. So it's definitely not gonna do good at the box office. Is it gonna? The main question: is it gonna have the meme power that Morbius has? Because Morbius had the, it's Morbin time and all that stuff. Is it gonna have that? I don't think it's gonna have that. I think this is just gonna be a movie that came out and no one's gonna talk about it. That's just me. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.